Alright, I don't usually do role plays, but here's me being a person getting fatter. First act, scene 1, sitting in the drive-thru. I just ordered off the value menu. That's key. And my jawline is almost gone. It'll be gone soon. Doesn't stand a chance.
$2.75.
Alright.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day. Now all that's left to do is to shove this thing down my gullet. Hey guys. I'm right here in the Wendy's drive-thru right now. Sorry, the Wendy's parking lot. At the establishment known as Wendy's. There's I picked a really quiet time of day to do this. Experiment with this little vlog. Napkins. 1 hamburger. 2 hamburgers. Wendy's Junior Bacon. No, sorry, just a junior hamburger. So I'm really fascinated by the popularity of mukbangs. Just how seemingly unsophisticated it is. Just how popular something with such a low production value and with almost what you would think is zero entertainment is. I just don't quite understand the draw. What's so interesting about it? Now this probably isn't going to be nearly as interesting as most mukbangs, but I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to just organize my thoughts on what makes... Is the camera shaking? What makes ASMR and mukbangs and let's eats, let's cooks, vlogs in general maybe? What makes them so popular? I just see them growing, honestly. And I have an idea that it's maybe it's maybe an offshoot, it's maybe a subgenre of reality TV, and it's more real than scripted reality shows. Maybe it is the fact that maybe they're so calming, and it's a communal aspect, because it's one of the more social activities humans do is to eat together. You know, if you're really close with someone, you sleep with them, but more casual relationships and a lot more broadly speaking in life and day to day, you socialize with people while you're eating with them as well. And I guess, you know, vlogs like this are interesting. I'm thinking about running on empty. Reviewbrah. I forget what his actual channel name is. I always forget, but he's Reviewbrah. He doesn't need any other alias. Why he's so popular, to me, it's because he has such an interesting, idiosyncratic, a unique perspective on food. And fast food too, something that's really run-of-the-mill. Maybe that's why it has such a wide reach. It's because everybody, class and income doesn't restrict your access to fast food in America. But I think ASMR is a communal thing. It's It's an intimate one-way look at no cost to the viewer. The only cost is you have to have internet access and a cell phone, I guess, some type of internet streaming, some type of device with a monitor and internet access, preferably with speakers. And I suppose, even though this seems ridiculously low cost to me as well, it is a one-way street, and all the information you're getting is purely from me, and everything I put out there, I'm technically, being an open book. And that's interesting to see how people, just even something as simple as the way I speak, the phrases I use, let alone the, more the deeper maybe perspectives I might bring to the table, if they're, to the extent that they're deep, the more personal, I guess, is what I'm saying. So it's an intimate look at someone's personal space. I mean, you're literally sitting on my dashboard right now. You don't get more close than that to a stranger, I would say. Hopefully the AC isn't too loud. Hopefully I got the engine on, so hopefully the car's not shaking too much. Looks like it is. Alright, burger 2. Let's see, I'm just interested in doing this. I'm so interested in doing this because, we are, let's see, we're social creatures. Evolutionarily, we've groomed each other. That book by Robin Dunbar, Grooming, Gossip, and the Evolution of Language. I'd love to read more about that. I'd like to read Craig Richards' book, ASMR. What is it, The Brain Tingles? And I believe Nick, I haven't checked my P.O. box, but I think you said you sent that to me, and that is, I'm so pumped. I'm looking forward to that. I guess really I should have mapped this out a little better and went and picked it up since I'm in the car right now. So I just remembered that. You said that yesterday. I'm gonna go pick that up, and maybe I'll do a part 2 if I can browse through that book real quick. Yeah, I'm really fascinated by the evolutionary foundation for, why we have such a, why other people can have such a calming effect on us. I mean, something I always touch on tangentially in a lot of my videos is that humans, we are the most complex, our brains are the most complex dynamic networks that we know about. And I suppose one of the more interesting things we can do is to watch what another complex individual phenomena, if you want to really get scientific and objective about it, to watch what other individuals are doing with themselves. It's kind of like a scientific objective look at, if you were an alien, or you were this theoretical, imaginative, hypothetical is the word I'm looking for, being that is just newly entered this universe, this landscape, and you really had a third-party objective perspective on human beings. I mean, I suppose this would be one of the more interesting, not this video in particular, but being in someone's intimate personal space. It'd be the most useful, practical way of understanding people, or one of them at least. It's just, so that's my point. It's just interesting. It's the definition of interesting, in the sense that it doesn't really need to be explained to someone if as long as they play it, choose to click on the thumbnail, I guess, open the video, and stay watching it. Reviewbrah's his unique take on fast food, his attention to detail and the minute little intricacies of taste. And yeah, I feel like maybe it kind of leads back to meditation. So this whole thing is, the topic's bouncing back and forth, I guess, between ASMR and mukbang and the more broader phenomena of vlogging in general. Yeah, I should have mapped this out. I should have thought this out before filming, but to me, maybe that's part of the interest. Hopefully I can get good at it too. Oh. Another interesting thing, someone's car is getting broken into. Will this just stop being an ASMR video right now? Okay, I've had this phone for over 2 years, and my brother's wife the other day just like accidentally, inadvertently used the feature on it where you're recording, and I literally never thought to use it. It's been staring me in the face for a long time. It's the pause button. You can pause it like a vine, almost. Anyways, the car alarm just stopped, and I just learned a new feature of my phone after 2.5 years. And that's just a phone. Imagine something as complex as our brains, all the little features about it that we haven't really considered before, you know? How much about what we're capable of are we ignorant of? To me, that's a cool question. Like Wim Hof, the Iceman, who's able to mentally, obviously physically, he's heavy into breathing exercises before he does his amazing, seemingly superhuman feats of walking up like to a base camp of Everest in just his shorts, no shoes, no shirt, just shorts. And that's just really what do you call it? An issue of decency, I guess. So his wang isn't hanging out on the way up, waving to bundled up adventurers of another sort, I guess. He is really a breed of his own. And where was I going with that? Oh yeah, all the features, you know. I think we're all just figuring ourselves out. Nobody really, I mean, I guess psychologists and yogis, any super hyper spiritual people, they're probably the closest to understanding I like Eric Weinstein, the mathematician and economist guy, works for Peter Thiel, because he brings a rational, like a you know, a logician's, a technician's perspective and perspective. I just said that word twice. To biology and psychology. You know, I love how he makes analogies of human constructs like computer systems and binary logic and logic gates, and his brother is a famous, you know, a increasingly famous evolutionary biologist. So yeah, to me, God, there's so many things I could talk about. If there was an audience, I guess I'd just sit here for a couple hours a day and, you know, clock in, clock out at the burger joint of my choice. And I'd go to more vegan fast food restaurants if I had ever heard of any. So, what do you think? I'm closed-minded to that. Yeah, this was intended just to be a mukbang ramble vlog. Maybe ASMR until that train and the car alarm and the motorcycles and the middle of the day that I chose to film this occurred. But anyways, I'd be curious to know what you guys think about, ASMR in general. Obviously, you can be more specific about what type of triggers you like, what things give you that stimulation, but on a broader scale, what is the stimulation? Is it? I think it's a feeling of safety, because it's being able to do it on your watch, being able to experience and expose yourself to the stimulations at your time. When you're ready, so it puts the ball in your court in that way of when you're watching it. So that's a sense of safety and security and comfort and power, control, I guess that's the word. So ASMR, if it's done right, you're putting yourself in an intimate setting willingly. You're in control, and it's a one-way street. There's no two-way communication going on. You're just you're watching. I'm just the open book that you're consuming the information I'm producing. So oh man, look at this guy go. Hell yeah. Collared shirt tucked in. Socks over the ankles. That's a diminishing generational feature. The walking around with tucked in collared shirts. Yeah, that's very interesting. So yeah, ASMR generally, I think long geological evolutionary timescales. It's founded in our deep social desire to be social and interact with one another. I guess that's just evolved through the evolutionary advantages of instinctive cooperative behaviors. So you're more likely, if you're more likely to cooperate instinctively, you're more likely to succeed and overcome hardships, especially as humans. And and I guess opening yourself up to let someone get really close to your ears and touch your head and body is a vulnerable position to be in. So I suppose that's a type of behavior that would reinforce the bonds that you have. So to call ASMR something just a very recent phenomena, I think is wrong. It's recently named. That's interesting. The whole autosensory meridian response, or autonomous sensory meridian response. It's cool. Obviously, it has its roots at least back to the origins of television and maybe radio. I don't know if I could think of any other than anything predating television and documentary series like Jacob Bronowski's The Ascent of Man, Kenneth Clark's Civilization, any David Attenborough nature documentary. You know, there's always, I fall asleep to Blue Planet, Planet Earth on Netflix all the time. So that, Carl Sagan, Bob Ross, Mr. Rogers, cooking shows, you know, Julie, what's her name? Julia Childs. You know, actually, yeah, people narrating and reading you stories. That's a huge trigger, I guess, for me, is just a strong, confident voice. Getting meta there for a second. Self-conscious. Relaying information in a relatively concise manner. I think that's a huge trigger for me. You know, that's why the French Whisperer, praise the Lord, he is back, by the way. That's fantastic. That's such cool news that he's, you know, he took time off and everything's okay. It's good to know. And I love someone said he made such a humble, such a low-key comeback, I think they said. He really did. He just, you know, 2 years later, after a really high demand for his content, just radio silent for 2 years, and then all of a sudden he just pops back up on the scene with just a tiny little excerpt about, you know, hey guys, I'm fine. I just was starting a business or something like that, which I would be very interested to know more about. And now he's back making content that people are starving for. It's so cool. So, yeah, ASMR, I think, is fundamentally the essence of it. It boils down to an experience, stimulations that induce a sense of immediate personal contact. Immediate in the sense of being very close in your immediate space, and a sense of safety and security, and in a video, in a communication that you're in control of. You can pause it anytime you want. You can turn the volume down. You can turn your phone off. You can raise your volume as loud as you want to really, really get the sound in your ears. Yeah, and it's just cool. Like, you know, I'm in Florida right now. Obviously, I'm not really showing you guys what's going on. Sorry, I ripped the tint off my window. It's coming off that window there. But this is, without the internet, 7 billion people would never have the luxury, the privilege of sitting in my Camry with me while I eat fast food and ramble about a very extremely niche subject, and occasionally burp. So this is new. Is it valuable? I don't know. You guys will be the ones to dictate that. To me, it's somewhat valuable. It's a little bit of a historical documentation of my mind at this present day, late March 2019, and in that sense, it's valuable. But that's a whole nother thing, is like that human interaction, human creations are only as valuable as to the how do I want to phrase that? You guys probably already get what I'm saying. Human creations are only as valuable as the consensus of other humans allow them to be. Think of artworks, how, you know, it can... I'm just very ignorant about art, but certainly some more modern art looks like, you know, a baby could have just thrown some paint cans on a canvas, and yet it's worth a lot of money, you know. So who dictates that worth? Who It's not, I don't think it's any one individual. I don't think it's. I would be interested to hear your take on that. You know, if billions of people, millions at least, are manipulated by a few, or is it, you know, is it a more general consensus that we reach? You know, what is good music? I have no doubt that, you know, my early musical tastes were influenced, or rather they were influenced in the songs I was exposed to just through the radio, so things not of my choosing influence my tastes now. But I really can't imagine that's really so not unique, like so not from within my personal interests, you know. I can't believe that all of my interests and tastes in culture and art were emerged through me being manipulated by being told what to think, you know. So I think it's influenced partly, you know, my tastes and my appreciation of art and my hobbies, my interests in doing, you know, activities outside and all that. It's partially influenced by, hey, being led to do certain things as a child, and that kind of, it's a feedback loop. You know, the more I was in the water and dived as a kid, the more I wanted to, the better I got at it, so the more likely I was to want to continue doing it in the future. You know, you always want to perpetuate the activities that you incrementally get better at. So, you know, someone who's good at art isn't gonna stop doing it probably unless they're forced to stop. So anyways, man, how did I get on that? How did I honestly start talking about my interests? I don't know. I guess we could tie it back into the fact that vlogs are popular because they're intrinsically interesting. They're intrinsically valuable because people are interested in what other people are doing. So there we go. We summed it up. I think we just solved the mystery of the internet vloggers, the mystery of the overwhelmingly popular emergence of internet vloggers and their success in the world. Yeah, I don't think it's going away. People are interested in people, and we just want to know what we're all up to, because we don't know what we're up to. So it's just an ongoing exploration of watching people act in the world and choosing who to follow, choosing whose lead to follow, and hopefully not making any major mistakes that you'll regret at the end of your life. So hope you guys like this. Yeah, I'll end it there. Just enlightening the world one fast food vlog at a time. Have a good day, guys.